Okay, so number one on here is kind of easy because the number line's already done for you. It says which fraction is equivalent to 6/4, and I can look and see 6/4 is right here, and up above that is 3/2. So all I have to do there is basically line that up. If I scroll down to number two, it says Mrs. White is painting the fence in her yard. After painting 4/6 of the fence, she stops for lunch. Which fraction is equivalent to 4/6? So over here, this little weird guy is telling us, I see a way to divide the rectangle into equal parts that are bigger than sixths. It looks like we have thirds, halves, sixths, and thirds again. So we have 4/6. Let's pretend if I look at this a different way, kind of thought of this whole as being broken into thirds, I can see that each of my pieces are still equal and that two of the three pieces are shaded. So that would give us D is our correct answer. For number three, this is the one we've been having a lot of questions about. Our question says, draw a model to show that 3 equals 6/2. So it's looking for 3 wholes to be equal to 6/2. So I want to draw, my holes can be circles, they can be squares, they can be triangles, doesn't matter. I'm going to use my little tool over here. We'll make circles. Why not? So there's one circle. And I'm going to split that into halves because my denominator is 2, which means each whole is split in half. So right here, I have 1/2, 2/2, but I need to have 6/2. So I have to keep going. Now here's another circle. And I'm going to split that circle into halves. And let's see how many halves we have now. 1/2, 2/2, 3/2, 4/2. I still don't have enough. I need 6/2. So I'm going to put another circle and just pretend like my circles are even because I'm trying my best here, folks. And I'm going to split that circle into halves. Now let's see how many halves we have. 1/2, 2/2, 3/2, 4/2, 5/2, 6/2. So we match this. Oh, I was trying to draw a check mark. That didn't work out so well. There we go. And I need to show that it equals 3. So if I look at this, I have 3 whole circles. So now it wants me to explain my drawing. So to explain, let's see if I can do a text box because that might go a little faster. Uh-oh. Can y'all tell I'm, there we go. Hey, text box, how are you? There we go. So explain my drawing. Well, I would say my drawing, which is my model, shows 3 whole circles. Each circle is divided into halves. When I count my halves, I have 6/2. So 3 equals 6/2. Hope that helps. All right, guys, so this question says Jeff's pizza is cut into 8 equal pieces. He eats 1/2 of it. What fraction of the pizza does he eat? So I'm going to use my circle tool and let's draw his pizza. And then it says his pizza is cut into 8 equal pieces. So I'm going to do half. And if I do half again going this way, I get fourths or quarters. Then I'm going to do half of each quarter or fourth. And that's going to get me, should be 8 equal slices. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Perfect. So we have 8 slices, but it says that he eats 1/2 of it. So there's half of it. So what fraction of the pizza does he eat? Well, all of my answer choices are in eighths. So I see that half of it is this whole section, but if I count how many eighths that is, that's 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8. So the correct answer is 4/8, which is C. Our next part of the question says Samantha chose A as the correct answer. How did she get that answer? So Samantha chose 2/8. What do you think Samantha might have done? Well, I see a 2 here and a 2 here. So I wonder if Samantha maybe got her denominator from 1/2 and just made it her numerator for 2/8. So I would say, I think Samantha may have gotten her numerator of 2 from the denominator. Let's make this go down a little bit. There we go. From the 1/2. She is not correct. 2/8 is not the same as 1/2. That's what I think she did. All right, moving down. Question 5 says draw lines and shade rectangles A and B to show that 1/4 equals 2/8. So in part A, I need to show fourths, and in part B, I need to show eighths. So I'm going to go back to my line tool. And for fourths, I'm going to do half. And let's do half of each fourth. That looks pretty good. And I need to show 1/4, so I'm just going to shade in one little piece. Oh, I need to change from my line tool to my drawing tool. There we go. Shade in one little piece. Okay, so here is 1/4. Now over here I need to show 2/8. So let's go back to the line tool. And I'm going to show fourths again. Start off with half. And I do half of each half to get fourths. And to get eighths, I'm going to cut each of my fourths in half. Bam. Now I have eighths. So I want to shade in 2/8. So that would be 1/8, 2/8. Oh, look, now I can see that that covers the same amount of space. And I need to actually explain. So explain your work. So first, I need to make this a little bit bigger. Seems to be small. There we go. First, I partitioned, remember that big word? Rectangle A into 4 equal parts and shaded one of, let's do model 1/4. Next, I partitioned rectangle B we did that into 8 equal parts, and shaded 2 of the 8 parts to model 2/8. The same area is shaded in both rectangles, so 1/4 equals 2/8. Bam! Okay, last question. Which statements are true? Circle the letter of all that apply. Ooh, we're going to have 5 problems to do. Okay, 4/2 equals 2. So let's do a shape. Let's do just a rectangle. It says 4/2. So first rectangle, cut it in half. There's 1/2, 2/2. So I need to do another rectangle. So I need to show 4/2. Split that in half. 1/2, 2/2, 3/2, 4/2. So 4 1/2 equal 2 wholes. Well, that works. So just a little bit thinner. So A is definitely correct. All right, let's try B. 4 ones. So 4 ones equal 4 wholes. Well, let's see. This means I have 4 and 1 piece is shaded. So that means in each of my holes are just broken into 1. So each of my holes is a hole. So let's do circles for this one. For B, 4, there's 1 broken into 1 piece, 2 broken into 1 piece, 3 broken into 1 piece, 4 broken into 1 piece. And if I count, I can see 4 over 1 is 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is also true. Okay, let's try C. 1/3 equals 3. Well, let's go back to rectangle so we don't get confused. I'm going to change my color too, just because I don't want them to run into each other for you. Okay. 1/3. Call you back. 1/3. So I need to break this into 3 sections to show thirds. Uh-oh, my line didn't go all the way. Okay, and it says 1/3. So I'm going to shade in one of my thirds. It says 1/3 equals 3 wholes. Well, here's 1/3. That's definitely not the same thing as 3 wholes. So, not true. All right, 2/4 equals 1/2. Well, I'm going to go back up here because I have this already in halves, and then you don't have to wait for me to draw it. So 2/4 equals 1/2. Well, let me show half on here. Here's half on this rectangle. And now I'm going to split this into fourths and see if it's the same thing. So let's change our colors. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 equal pieces. Is that the same amount shaded? Yeah. 2 out of 4 is the same as 1 out of 2. So D is correct. All right, and finally E, 1/2 is equal to 2 ones. All right, so 1/2, that would be this, is equal to 2 wholes. Well, if I draw a shape coming over here, and I shade that in, and that's 1/2. Is that the same thing as 2 wholes? No, not at all. There you go. Hope you enjoyed this. And if you have any questions, you can comment on Google Classroom or Class Dojo. Love y'all. Hope to see you soon.